guess Tim and Hayel, pouring to you guys right now. Anything hot right now? Anything coming up? How was yesterday? Activity good? I know we're gonna hop on later and go through activity and all that, but
Yeah, I mean, activity for me was good. Got through all my scheduled calls, did a lot of follow-ups. I think it's been, I think for me, more working on mindset to just keep going, and just, self-generating some leads and whatnot. So that's pretty much it.
love it. Love it. Good stuff. How about you, Tim?
Yeah, activity here is great as well. Lots of good people on the calendar. Just really working on building that gap, trying to get them to see the internal urgency. So,
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. What did we talk about last time? Did we talk about internal urgency a little bit? Or maybe that was a different meeting.
no, we talked a little bit about pre-framing, maybe. I don't remember.
That's right.
Something like
That's
that.
right.
Yeah.
All the meetings get blended together at this point. Cool, guys. Well, we can keep today relatively short since we've only got a few people. But yeah, I could teach. We could play a game. I've got tons of sales games we could play. We could watch some sort of cool trainings that we've done in the past. Completely up to you guys. So the thing about, let me just come high level real quick for anybody who's listening. I know Tim and Hayel, you know this, but we never force the issue, right? We never force the energy. We never force the emotion, right? It's like same thing on a sales call. We don't force on a sales call. We're not shoving it down their throat. We're not forcing the offer on them. We're not forcing the product, the service, whatever it is. We're not forcing them to make a commitment. On the flip side, we're actually eliciting it. We're helping them arrive at that place for themselves, right? And if somebody's not opening up their heart, you can't just force your way in there, right? You're going to piss some people off. They're going to get scared. They're going to back up. They're going to resist, right? But of course, that's where the sale's made, right? The sale is made in the heart. And so Steven says activities here are great. Nice. Fill in the calendar and also networking to land great offers. Love it, man. Steven, I'm curious, what is it that you're selling? So same thing with these meetings, right? Everything is a microcosm of that form of communication. So even on these meetings, or any of meetings, you guys know, we don't take up the time if we're not flowing. If the energy is not there, I'll try to facilitate it, try to draw it out. We'll try to see what comes up. But if nothing's coming up, then it's like, hey, this isn't where the energy is right now. And that's completely okay. Right. Maybe. And then sometimes, maybe it's just taking some deep breaths. Maybe it's doing some jumping jacks. I mean, I hit myself in the chest a lot. Whatever you got to do to wake that energy, get that energy going. But again, not going to force anything. So happy to teach, but it's hard to, obviously we've got Tim and Hayel here engaged. It's hard to just talk to a bunch of cameras that are off or talk to things that are relevant, which totally understand. This is not an obligation or a mandatory thing by any means. But nonetheless, if you want to come, I say have fun with it, contribute, ask some questions, come with some ideas. It's hard to run this like a normal sales meeting because there's so many different people with offers or different offers. What's up, Grayson?
Hello. Good morning.
Morning. So there's a lot of people with different offers, so it's hard to get too specific, but we can definitely talk in generality. So internal urgency, that's something that we talk about a lot, which I think is super, super, super valuable. I was talking with another sales team yesterday. Just, really what it comes down to is the art of asking great questions, right? And really life, getting the answers you want, getting the results you want in life come down to asking great questions. Right. It's a lot of people try to focus on the solutions, right? And sales reps do this all the time, right? Sales reps focus on solution. Somebody throws out a problem. Oh, I got a solution for that. Someone throws out a pain. Oh, I got a solution for that. Someone throws out, oh, I want to be here. Oh, I got a solution for that. It's not about the solution. It's about the questions that you're asking. The solution will be a byproduct of the questions that you're asking, right? Does that make sense? The solution will be a byproduct of that. So don't focus on the solution. Focus on asking really great questions that draw out the truth, draw out the heart, draw out the matters of the heart, right? What's true and real for them. So, yeah. Any thoughts on that? Any questions? What do you guys think?
I love that. I guess what would be kind of like, because for me, like whether it's start virtual or like wholesaling and whatnot, it is a lot of like trying to go through these barriers, which I think it's just sales. But I feel like for all of us, we probably get a lot of pushback, a lot of people, like you're saying, that don't want to give the energy or things like that. Would it be essentially like what you just did, where it's just like, let's address the elephant in the room, or yeah, like what's up with that?
Yeah, there's one or two ways you could do that. That's a great question. One or two ways you could do it. One, I can just kind of lean in and see, you know, hey, I'm being vulnerable here. I'm being very honest about, hey, here's how the energy is in this room right now. Here's how I'm seeing it. I'm not calling it out like, oh, you guys suck and you guys aren't engaged and all that stuff. No, it is what it is. It's completely fine, right? I have no dog in the fight. It's just, I'm going to try to massage that, right? I'm going to try to get down into that person's heart. If we want to take it the sales call route, I'm going to try to get down into your guys' heart and try to move some emotion. If I can't get there, if you guys aren't letting me in, then I'm going to pull back, right? I can't force that issue, right? So a lot of times, you know, here's a practical example of what you could do on a call. If someone's not letting you into the heart, they're not giving you the authentic answers, right? They're not giving you the truth, right? You just say, hey, change your tone, right? Hey, hi, El. I guess I'm trying to understand here, right? You called us looking for help, but I'm just not really understanding where you're at or how we can exactly help. Can you level with me? Is there something else going on here?
Okay.
Right. I came like that little dog who's like, hey, I want to be loved. I don't want to be threatening. So I'm going to kind of roll over when I come to your feet, and this is your world. I'm playing in your world. Right. If you don't want me here, I'm out. That's fine. I'm not going to stick around and just get kicked and get beat. Right. Or get neglected. I'm not going to sit here and waste my time. Right. But I am going to lean in as much as you lean in. Right. But I can't make the whole jump. Right. Same thing. Right back to another example in a sales call. Right. It's not about you understanding what the solution is for them. Right. It's about them making that connection for themselves. I use the example. You guys familiar with how a spark plug works inside of an engine, right? The charge builds up and then the charge jumps. Right. And that's what creates the spark. Right. And so the same thing, right? In a conversation, you have to build them up through asking questions, leading them down this path till they're, you know, that pressure is built, that spark's built, and then the connection gets made for themselves inside of them. Right. An idea and an idea thought takes root deeper than an idea given. So how do we make it be their idea?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Grayson, what do you got?
Sorry, I came in the middle of that, but you just said something though that I think is like super important. Yesterday, it dawned on me and I talked to Sheila about it, but addressing those problems throughout the conversation, but let them kind of simmer in it is where I was catching myself is, hey, let them get all those problems out and then address them at the end during the pitch, right? So like I caught myself yesterday on a call where I was addressing them throughout the entire call, and then I essentially was pitching them throughout the entire call, and I totally shot myself in the freaking foot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so like let them tell you the problem, then move on, ask more questions, dig deeper, right?
Yeah.
Instead of saying like you just said it, you're like, oh, this is your problem. Oh, hey, I have a solution. Oh, this is your other problem. I have another solution.
Yeah.
And I totally blew that yesterday, but it's self-awareness though. You know what I mean? Just it's something that we all need to get better at.
100%. Such a good example. So you guys hear me talk a lot about this right here, right? If this is the conversation, Jesus, you guys can see that? If
This guy some markers.
If this is the conversation very often, if that's the conversation line, markers suck. There we go. If that's the conversation line, right? And this is the start point, and here's the sale, right? This is the scale, this is the start of the call. Right. As you're going down, say, hey, how's it going? Cool. A little bit of frame. We got a little bit amount of time. Hey, catch me up to speed. Tell me about yourself. Right. You're a little bit in the call. That person starts talking. Can you guys hear me okay? All right. So that person starts talking. Then we start asking them questions, right? Those broad questions that get them talking. And in that, you have to listen for beyond what they are saying, right? You have to listen for what they're feeling, right? Because you can have the solution. And it could be the perfect solution, But if they don't feel like you understand why that is the solution for them, they're not going to accept the solution. And be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense from a head level, but there's no roots to that idea. Does that make sense? There's no emotion attached to it. There's nothing anchored to it. So it's just a surface level idea. It hasn't connected with them yet, right? And so this kind of goes into a little bit of what you said, Tim, creating internal urgency, right? You got it. And fighting, I know I've said this before, right? In fighting, precision beats speed. Timing beats speed and precision beats power, right? So it's not about necessarily saying the perfect thing. It's about saying it at the right time, right? And it's not necessarily using the right words. It's using the right tonality. Does that make sense? That's the difference. So Grayson, as you're going down this conversation and you're like, hey, catch me up to speed. Some point in there, he's going to say something that has emotion attached to it, whether it would be amazing if this X, Y, and Z could happen, or, oh man, it's frustrating. It sucks when this happens, right? And those are the times you want to pierce. So you go in here and then you pierce. Oh, it'd be amazing if that happened. Oh, that'd be amazing. Tell me more about that. How amazing would that be? Why would it be so amazing? Right? Oh, it'd be amazing because then I could, I don't know, spend more time with my family. Oh, another clarifying question. I'm not sure if you guys can see this. Okay. Another clarifying question, right? Spend time with my family. Oh, what's behind that, right? Do you not get to spend time with your family now? Clarifying question, right? Now we're to this emotion. We're creating those roots. You see this? And then you ask again, right? He's like, oh, well, it's really important to me right now. I don't get to do it. I have to wake up every morning and drive to work, and I miss weekend soccer games with my kids. It's like, oh, that sounds really tough. You're missing weekend soccer games. It's repeating the last thing they said, right? That's another way to pierce. You're missing your friend's soccer, your kid's soccer game. Yeah, man, like they have them every Saturday, and just like my days are taken up. Wow, that's tough. Okay, well, that's a tough situation. Well, I guess let's keep going. Like, tell me more about, right? He's gonna keep on talking. What you got to do, Grayson, though, is you can't get lost down in here and keep on clarifying off of these things. And now the conversation line is now over here, but then you have this huge gap that you missed. Does that make sense?
100%. That's exactly what, yeah.
So when you get down in these weeds, 2 or 3 levels, or into the heart, 2 or 3 levels, then you got to be able to come back up, right? And just be like, okay. So there's a couple different ways to say that. You could be like, down in here, just be like, okay, now before we get too far in that, you also mentioned, hey, that it would be really great if, right? Another emotional thing. Now we pierce on that a few levels deep. Then we come back up. Now we keep going with the discovery, or keep going with the whatever, right? Then maybe we get to that point of commitment, right? Now we can start going into the other part of the conversation. But this discovery part is where all these roots got to get planted, right? They got to get attached to the thing that's important to them.
Yeah, it was crazy. I listened to it with one of our other team members. It was Sheila, but she's like, and I didn't even realize it myself. Again, self-awareness, right? But I didn't even get to the pitch. I literally got into the weeds so deep, and she's like, you didn't even pitch them. I'm like, oh shit, you're right. like right. It just kind of like, it just tailed off, which was, but it's getting back up to the surface and then being able to continue,
Yep.
And it
come
happens,
down,
but...
pierce, build a root, come back up, continue on that path. Build a root, come back up, continue on that path. Once you got like 3 to 5 roots built, that's enough leverage for you to move into the next thing, right? If you only have one thing, that's not enough leverage over that person. There's not enough leverage in their heart. There's not enough commitment. It's not enough emotional pull on them. Does that make sense?
I feel like it's all things that we've talked about and we've done forever, but it's just a good reminder, because it's all.
Totally. I mean, just like sales is a practice, right? Just like being a doctor is a practice, being a lawyer is a practice, being a professional athlete is a we got to every day refine our skills. Even the pros still practice, right?
I feel like it's something you said on our call yesterday, as far as kind of like just having the conversation. And I think, and it's just communicating. But I think a lot of us, like me specifically, it's like, I'm really good at talking to people out in the wild, you know what I mean? But then the moment it's like a phone comes on, it's like my voice changes, like it's these natural instincts to just be somebody else instead of just being who I am. And so I think it's like these conversations are so good because then it brings me back into like, it's just communicating. It's just a conversation and education instead of like the selling point.
100%, 100%. It's just a conversation. And at the end of the day, they called you, right? They called you. They booked on your calendar. They're looking for your help, right? Just a conversation. And authenticity is sexy, right? Authenticity sells. That's why we talk about being the hottest girl in the bar, so to speak, right? She knows she's the hottest girl in the bar. She's not chasing around. She's not trying to be anything other than what she is. Right. I know that's a crude analogy, but it makes a ton of sense because they're very detached from the outcome. Right. Julio, what's going on, man? See you taking notes, man. You got the Gold's Gym, got your workout in.
I know. I'm just here learning.
Love it,
Thank
man.
you so much for everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. How did you hear about us? Where did you come from? What are you selling?
I'm always selling, huh? But no, I'm friends with Grayson
Okay.
Alexander for
Sweet.
almost like, I don't know, like 7 years almost. And yeah, he's the one that started me on this. He was well, he is my mentor.
Love it.
So yeah, he invited me to the shop. Yeah.
I love it. He's a great mentor. He's had a
Yeah,
lot of experience.
Yep, for sure.
Good stuff, man. Anything that you're facing? Any questions that you got? Any topics you're interested in learning more about?
Again, I got into the middle of the talk, but yeah, you're like expressing if somebody call you, what about if you're the one they're calling? You know, I guess it will link to the same thing, but how do you start that? You know, kind of like no chase you, kind of like, you know, them to be the one that gets you the info, if you know what I mean.
So are you saying like instead of them calling you, you calling them, like you outbounding them? Got you.
Yeah. So Sean, just to clarify, so Julio is on my wholesale team.
I think I put it together. Context.
Yeah, I figured you did. But yeah.
Outbound, direct, calling a bunch of sellers and trying to gather information on properties and whatnot, right?
Yep.
Love it, man. How do you typically handle it?
Well, you know, just like start building relationship as much as possible, but of course the attitude somebody that you're calling instead of them calling you is way different. You know, they have the guard, you know, always up, so it's kind of hard to get into that emotion, you know. But yeah, just listening and just letting them know that, you know, you just try to, you know, offer a service and try to help them as much as possible, even though if they don't get to work with you, you know, you're still gonna try to help them. You know, that's the way I do it, and you know, sometimes help, but you know.
Yeah, I love that. Keeping the relationship the main thing, being a farmer, not a hunter, because, you know, they might not be ready to sell their house right now, or they might, you know, not have anybody in their network right now, but maybe in 3 months, 6 months, they will, and then come back and you just plant enough of those seeds, right? And then at any given time, they start to bear fruit. I would say really what it comes down to, Julio, is just, it's, again, the quality of your questions is going to determine the amount of information that you're able to get, the amount of comfort, rapport that people feel with you, right? It's all going to come down to your questions. In outbound cold calling, it definitely is a little bit tougher. You know, it definitely is a little bit tougher. It's like door-to-door sales. You know, you got a short window, a really short window to polarize them or to get them to lean in, to identify something, to connect with them, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And one tactic that I might do if I was doing a lot of outbound, a lot of cold calling would be, you know, I'd probably get a little cheeky with things and have fun with it, right? And be polarizing a little bit, right? I remember there was this story, Gracie, you might remember this story. I don't remember who used to say it, but, you you know, there's a guy in real estate, and he would call people at like 4:30 a.m. in the morning, foreclosures, right? Pre-foreclosures, right? And they would be pissed. They'd answer the phone, they'd be pissed. And you're like, what are you doing calling me at 4:30 in the morning? And his first line was, well, based on your situation, you need somebody like me on your team who's up at 4:30 in the morning solving problems.
Yep.
That's
exactly.
savage.
You know, and so I would have some fun with it. Try to be a little polarizing, but also, you know, it's uncovering. It's the same thing, right? All sales is the same thing. It's about uncovering those needs, wants, goals, desires, and pain points. You just got to get really good at asking the right questions in a way that meets people where they're at quickly, which Grayson would probably have a little bit more info. I don't really do a ton of sales calls anymore in general, but I definitely don't do a lot of outbound or cold calling these days. But all right, Tim, go crush it, man. But yeah, quality of your questions for sure.
I was going to say,
Awesome,
Sean, one
awesome.
thing I
Thank
would
you so
add
much.
too is removing yourself from the sale. Same thing. I think it applies to every aspect of it. Is
100%.
not getting attached to that, because it's like blood in the water for a shark. I mean, like they can sense that you're desperate, you know?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. Any other thoughts? Any other questions? Cool. Any some good stuff today? Any takeaways? Some good takeaways?
Just bring the energy, be yourself, be authentic. It's the only thing that's gonna really work.
100%. Cool. Well, I love it, guys. Yeah, let's see. Alexandra, Steven, Jordan's autopilot. Thanks for joining. Julio, Grayson, Hiel, thanks for joining. That was fun. We'll hop on every day and we'll do a little bit of this. Some days will be probably a little bit different, or every day will probably be a little bit different, but continue to have fun, continue to learn, continue to get better. Hiel, how are you going to show up today? If you look in the mirror at the end of the day and you're proud of yourself, how did you show up?
I showed up with energy.
Let's go. Let's go. Grayson, how about you? How you showing up today?
I'm ready to kick ass right now. I mean, I got so much on my plate, a lot of irons in the fire, and I'm ready just to fuck shit up, to be honest with you. Like, taking names, maybe.
Grayson, do you buy real estate? I just kind of creeped on your Instagram. Are you buying?
Yeah, we're buying. I do mostly wholesale. We do some flips, but we've got like 8 in escrow right now, so we're still buying.
Okay, but you're not buying and holding right now, just pretty much just wholesaling it?
All my buy and holds are up in Wisconsin.
Okay, cool.
Where are you at? Better
I'm
question.
here in Arizona. I wholesale, but I do a lot of creative stuff. So just wanted to see
okay.
if you'd be one of my buyers.
Yes, hit me up on if they're creative, definitely.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Gotcha.
Look, how cool is that? You guys can't script those types of opportunities, right?
Yeah,
why you
no,
just-
I saw it when you said wholesaling. I'm like, who is this guy?
That's
Yeah.
why you show up, baby. I love it.
Go.
Julio, how you showing up today?
Hey, enthusiastic, motivated, ready to go.
Let's
And
go.
always persistent. Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. Alexandra, Steven, hope y'all crush it today. I'll see you guys on the board. I'm going to show up. I'm gonna show up creative. I got a lot of creative work to do. I'm gonna be creative today. It's gonna be fun. All right, y'all. I'll see you on the board. Go crush it, get some deals, ask great questions, be authentic. Peace.